Hi, and welcome to the Design Find podcast, a space where women are interviewed and in conversation to discuss the highs, lows, and everything in between about being a woman in design. The Design Find has new episodes every Monday, so make sure you come back every week. You can find more on the Design Find podcast Instagram. Hope you enjoy this episode. Hi, and welcome to the Design Find the podcast. Today we have Lava, and she's going to be sharing with us her stories in the design field. So, welcome.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Great. So, to start, can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, your background, what you're doing now, and anything that you want to mention?
Okay, so my name is Lavanya Jain, but you can also call me Lava. I am doing fashion design at London College of Fashion, and this is my second year. And I'm from India, Delhi, like from there. But yeah.
Cool. And is there any specific type of fashion design you're studying or just broad?
So I'm doing fashion design and development, so that includes kind of everything. Like I can basically design whatever I want to, but I still don't know which. Like I do know I want to go into women's wear, but I'm not really sure what exactly I want to do yet.
So, what is it like being a fashion design student? How are classes? How creative are you able to be? Do you just create all your own clothes? What is the planning? Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so like being at uni is literally the best experience I've ever had. Like I remember like in school, like I hated doing what I was studying because like in India, you just get to choose either three subjects like science, commerce, or humanities. Like I didn't really have the option to study fashion in general. So I had to study it separately. So when I came here, it was really nice. Like they would just give you a topic and it would be a very wide topic. So like right now we're working on texture, so you can do anything related to texture and everyone comes up with a different topic, and it's surprising how everyone has a different topic with the same theme in mind. Like I have never had an experience in which two people had the same idea or concepts. It's always been like very creative, and especially being an international student, I'm surrounded by people from all over the world, so it's good to see how everyone else works too, and it kind of gives me motivation when I see other people working in front of me. So I think that's what motivates me more. Like if someone's doing a better job than me, then I'm just like, okay, I need to step my game up, and that's how we keep improving. And talking about like in design specifically, what we do is just like, to be honest, I get inspired by anything I see. So you keep taking pictures throughout the day, like you always have your camera out, and when you're doing your project, you just, like I've always been told by all my friends, like we never see things the way you do. Like my recent collection was based on Mercedes cars. So I designed clothes out of just structures of cars. And my boyfriend was just genuinely shocked, like, how did you just manage to get a design out of that? So I never thought that I was thinking that way until somebody like pointed it out to me that it was different. But it's kind of like that. Everyone has their own way of working. Like some of my friends drape, and that's how they start with their design development. Some of them just choose the fabric first. For me, it's getting pictures and then drawing and then figuring out what I want to do with my collection. And then after that comes all the stitching.
But yeah, I agree. I would for sure say that I think something that's super cool about fashion design is everyone may have the same idea, like, oh, a t-shirt, and there's so many different takes on it, and it really just shows how everyone has a different perspective. And I'm sure you see that at a huge scale when you're at fashion school in London. So talking about being fashion school in London, what are some of the topics or things that you learn about in school, or is it more of just creation of fashion?
So technically you're supposed to know most of the things already. Because when you come to uni, obviously there are classes where they teach you how to stitch and stuff, but you're already supposed to know how to go through a design development in your mind. Like you should know how you're going to come up with a design collection and stuff, because they don't actually tell you what exactly to do. You should already have the knowledge, because it's probably like only 25% what they teach you at uni, and 75 is your own work. So for international students like me, I had to go through a foundation course, which was really helpful, because in the foundation course they taught me everything, like how I should go about designing collection, how I should start, what I should do. So I think that helped me a lot. But like people who are already from the European Union, I think you already have like fashion classes in school and stuff where they teach you how to do all these things. So it was easier for them because they didn't have to go through a foundation. But for me, I loved my foundation year. Like it was the best year of my life. That's why I learned everything, and it, like, made my life easier doing the degree. So yeah.
Now that you're in your second year, are you more in the creation stage compared to, you said the first year was more the foundations? So now are you just
Mhm.
working on making looks, and I don't know if there's like a workshop there, or can you just talk about that?
Okay, so in my foundation course, I was doing design, business, and media, everything related to fashion. And then we chose one of the fields we wanted to go to, and we started making our portfolios for our undergrad. And then I applied for my undergrad. So right now I'm in my second year of undergrad. So it's very different compared to foundation. You still create a lot of things. It's just that the help from the university, like in my foundation, there was a lot of help from the tutors. And during your degree, that they can still help you, but you need to ask them. They would not just voluntarily just tell you like, okay, fine, do that. You will always have to ask. So you cannot be afraid to ask anyone if you need help or just suggestions. And remember that all your tutors are going to be, like, at least with me, a bit vague about their ideas, so that, like, you can think about it yourself and you can come up with something yourself instead of just copying the idea they told you to.
So they're
So yeah.
really focused on you being individual and creating your own thing, because I guess there's no right answer with fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to do what you think is right. And like sometimes you can even disagree with your tutors and be like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do something else, because it's a very subjective course. And even our grading is very like subjective. Like if you get a C, it's like you've done what they asked you to do. If you get a B, that means you did a bit more work than they asked you to do. And A means you did a lot of work. Like it's not like, oh, this was the best work, which is why you got an A. That's not the case.
So they don't grade you
So
on how much they like your piece, it's about how much work you put in.
how much work you put in, how clean your work is, your presentation skills, and your like 2D to 3D outcome. Like if you've drawn in a certain way but it didn't come out the same way when you actually made the comment, like something like that, it has to be almost similar. So yeah.
And in terms of the creation of the garment process, do you usually just work on mannequins and you measure that and you put out the fabric and you sew with sewing machines, or is there another process?
No, so you can drape if you want to, but we have sample room sessions in which they teach us how to, like, so at least with pattern cutting, they taught us how to pattern cut from the start. So they gave us like pattern pieces that were already there, but like how to manipulate them and create something you want to. So it's a basic pattern, or like of size 12, and you just go about there from your design. So they teach you how to pattern cut, but you can do it however you want to. It's either two ways. It's like either with a mannequin or with pattern cutting. And like recently we were taught how to like pattern cut with our own garments. So something like if I'm wearing this hoodie and I want to like remake it, so they taught us how to trace it all properly to create the same pattern for the hoodie instead of like making it all on our own,
Mm.
because this fits me really well, so I want the exact same fit. So instead of sitting and measuring it, you just draw it.
Cool. And if for someone who, for people who don't know, pattern is like the stencils of like the different pieces that you put together to make a garment. So yeah, those are usually helpful, especially when you're beginning in fashion design. Um, so what do you think your favorite part about being in fashion design is?
Seeing your garment on somebody else, like something I've like made is out there and people are wearing it and
Is
are happy about wearing it and posting pictures. Like it just makes me happy.
is there something that's your favorite garment that you've made or something that was the most popular?
So I won't say like most popular, like it'll be most popular on my Instagram, but yet I think I made a collection based on Alice looking through the glass,
Mhm.
like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
So I really like that one because it had like a plastic circle in the middle, which was actually like a looking glass through a person's personality. And I really liked how that collection came out. So I think my previous work was one of my best works, but I still need to work more.
And do you actually wear your own clothes that you create, or do you tend to give it to your friends and family to wear?
So when I'm making my own clothes, I tend to make them my size because it's more convenient for me to go and keep checking if I'm making it right.
Hmm.
So I do wear some of my garments outside, but like a few projects, like you can't really wear them because like my first year, I had to make a garment with calico. So calico is like sample fabrics. You can't really wear it outside. And the next time I made like, some pieces I do wear, some pieces I don't. But I have made like clothes for my friends and all, but that's like a separate project I did on my own, like not with my uni work.
Hmm. And do you use like a sewing machine to do everything?
Yes, a sewing machine. Like there are different kinds of sewing machines, but I have one at home, the commercial one. So I use that when I'm at home, but like there are specific fabrics, specific techniques that you need to, like when you need to do those things, really need to go to uni and use those machines. So yeah.
Hmm. So do you work from home mostly, or do you go to the school and work there?
I prefer going to the school because everyone else around there is working and it just motivates me to work. Because I
Yeah.
know for a fact if I start working at home, I'll end up just watching TV and working while doing that. And then
Hmm.
it'll take hours just to finish a simple work.
Hmm. And how long do you think it actually takes from start to finish of a full outfit?
Just the sewing part or the entire design process?
Um, Maybe the entire design process.
Okay, so it takes me about a month. Like if I have to do it really quick, then I can do it in 2 weeks. But at uni, like when you're taking it slow, when you need to design properly, I take about a month to just finalize my final collection. Like all the design work is done, the lineup is ready, and I start designing my patterns. So I think about 1.5 months if you're in a hurry. But at uni, we take like 5 months per project.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they
Which
really make sure you take your time.
seems, yeah, but it seems that, it's a long time, but everyone is rushing in the end because it gets really hectic because we really need to do more projects too. Like over there we have like a lot of things running around. Like right now I'm applying for a placement from next year. Like I took a sandwich year, so I need to apply for placements. So even applying for jobs is a very hectic job.
Hmm.
Like it might seem easy but it isn't.
Is there a
And
dream job you have in the fashion world?
um I just want to have like a lot of fun when I'm working. I don't really know what I want to do yet. Like I do know I want to go into fashion design and I do know I want to be in women's wear, but I don't have a dream job because I don't know what I want to do yet.
Hmm. But do you want to make your own clothes, or do you want to be on like the corporate side of the fashion?
So up until recently, I did want to be in the commercial world, but then I'm slowly realizing that every time you go to work, they're just gonna make you do pattern cutting and like just tech files and stuff in the start, and only after you reach a certain point in your career would you actually get to design your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of 50-50, but I do want to work in the commercial world and still make my own designs and sell them
Mm-hmm.
like together if that's possible.
Best
But
of both
yeah,
worlds.
yeah.
And what do you think your style is in terms of fashion?
Okay, good question. I am genuinely all over the place, but it's a mixture of like classic but fun. Like I don't know how to say that, but I have no idea how to describe it. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
Because with every project, I try to go into boundaries that I've never explored before. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've never worked with textile before, and this project I'm trying to focus on textile. So I'm trying to go into every field possible and then decide what my style really is. Because I generally go with the flow, like whatever is happening with my
What are
designs.
your some of the favorites you've done though?
Um, okay. So like mostly oversized
Mm-hmm.
things that, like I have done, like I'm really proud of my oversized garments, but like it's very contemporary, if you say like futuristic.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Um, so going back, you talked about how when you were in India, you didn't have very much choice in your classes, so it was big difference going to fashion school and doing something that you love. How
Mhm.
did you get into fashion if you were in like the environment where you didn't really learn fashion?
Okay, so I knew that I wanted to do fashion design since the seventh grade, and I don't know how, but I did. Like I do know how. So I was in gymnastics. Like I was doing
Mm-hmm.
gymnastics in my 12 high school, and like during one of the competitions, because it was my first time, I didn't have a costume. So the first 2 days other people were competing, so I saw how their designs were, how their costumes were decorated. And in rhythmic gymnastics, all your like costumes are very decorative and
Mm-hmm.
shiny with sort of